How good does it feel to finally get back here and get to work after a long summer?
It's good. It's exciting. I mean, a lot of things have happened for this organization over the summer, and just talking with the players. And I've been back for about a month, but we're starting to pile in here in the last 4 or 5 days, and it's always exciting when you start to see guys get in. We got a week here to kind of bond a little bit, have our I guess our volunteer skates, if you want to call it that, but it's definitely an exciting time of year.
But missing one guy, Mr. Dowdy, not being here.
Yeah, I mean, from a team perspective or a player's perspective, he's a big part of our team. But from a personal level, you miss him being around, and whether you're making fun of him or he's making fun of you, it's that camaraderie that the contract issues. Players don't really worry about that. It's more about getting them here and around the guys and being a part of the group that we're worried about. And I have confidence that they'll figure it out. I mean, he's not going to not play for us. Well, at least that's what I think. So, like I said, like I said, when it comes to contracts and players, you try to just stay out of it. It's really none of my business, and I just look at it from a team standpoint. We want to get them here as soon as possible. They'll get it done.
Obviously, camp hasn't started yet, but has that had an effect on you guys at all that he isn't here?
No, I mean, we've talked about it as players, but like I said, I think everyone kind of thinks the same thing. I mean, he's our teammate, and he'll be here when he can be here.
How often do you think about Game 3 against San Jose?
I don't know. When you start talking, I mean, right after, that's all you can think about. And as you kind of progress through the summer, every time you probably bring up hockey, whether it's a friend, family, or acquaintance through the hockey world, you think about that game. I think it's important for this team to kind of turn the page and get ready and excited for this year, but keep that in the back of our mind. I mean, we learned stuff against Vancouver, and I think it helped us against San Jose, but now we've learned a new lesson in playoff hockey, and that's going to be an invaluable experience come this year.
What's your expectations specifically for the team? Conference finals, how far?
Given the makeup of this team, I think we have a chance to win the West. I mean, you get there, and you never know what can happen. I mean, the additions we've made, like I said, I think we have the ability to do it. It's just a matter of executing.
Were you surprised when you first found out Mike Richards has come to the game?
I was surprised from a standpoint of he's the type of guy I never thought would have got traded. Not only the type of player he is, but his contract is a lengthy one, and in my opinion, a good one at his cap hit or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Not that players really worried about that, but that's kind of the benchmark now with the salary cap is your cap hit. But he seemed like he was very woven into everything that is Philadelphia Flyers, and that was more the shock than anything else. I mean, players get traded every day, but players that are so interwoven into a team's identity, that doesn't happen very often.
Philly has a very strong hockey culture inside the organization. You've been here since the beginning. What does it mean to you to be an LA King?
It's kind of progressed. I mean, when I first got drafted, I remember my first thought was I didn't even know, I grew up watching Gretzky and stuff, but you didn't know what type of hockey market this would be. And as we've, over the last few years, become a better team, you start to see subtle changes, both in the fan base, but also, really since I've been here, I mean, the organization has always been first class. I think a lot of things have been said in the media or whatnot, but this organization's a hockey-first mentality, and they're committed to winning. And we're starting to do the right steps. It's starting to be a place players are enjoying playing. I mean, talking to other players, they've played in other organizations. They come and see our setup. They come and see everything that we have, and it's one of those things where we're starting to get that rep. This is the team you want to play for. There's plenty of teams that haven't. There's the same amount of teams that teams don't want to go to play for. And the more we can build out, the better it's going to be for this organization.
Well, during your remarks down to the fans, you said that Mr. Anschutz was maybe the best one in hockey, maybe in sports. Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, I've known Mr. Anschutz since I was drafted. I mean, being 18, not knowing at the time, I get a phone call from Phil Anschutz saying, "We're really glad that you're a King." That was my, and like I said, I was 18. I had no, I'm like, who's this guy? I don't have any idea. And he called me, and then it dawned on me maybe a couple months later when I was in camp, and they're like going over, and I found out who he was. I was like, I mean, this guy, to be how successful he is, just pick up the phone call and call, me, which kind of made an impact on me. And then I've had the chance to, know him personally. I mean, there's been times when he's been in here with his, he's very private. He's walked by 10, 15 guys, and guys have no idea who he is. And, he's always made a point to maybe be private, but at the same time let us know that he's supporting us. He's done numerous things over the last 7, 8 years I've been here.
What kind of guy was Dimitri in the room?
He was one of those guys where you'd be very, very intense on the ice. He'd get mad. He'd get mad at you if you didn't give him the puck. But the second the game was over, it was like nothing had ever happened. And, you want to go for a beer, you want to, let's go do something. But he was a happy-go-lucky guy. And that was one, I've had this question, since ever, the last week or so. I only played with him for maybe a couple years, and I played on the line with him for maybe 50 games. I don't know. And the one thing, he was always having fun. But at the same time, he loved the game of hockey, and just
In light of all the hockey tragedies this summer, how important is it for you and your teammates to get back here for business as usual?
It's been a pretty, sad summer for hockey, and but I think when it comes to this team, I think guys are very excited. We just got to be focused on just being focused, and I think a big part of that is, everyone's excited this time of year as a team. But I think this year is just a little different. We've been making progress every year. I remember 3-4 years ago, this time of year I was excited to play hockey too, because he hadn't played. But I think everyone in their mind saying, with a team 3-4 years ago, I'm excited, but there's no chance we're going to do anything here. This year it's a different feeling.